Hello, this is Kev. This is a new channel here. This will serve as a backup channel to my main channel, Black Men Being Brutally Honest. It seems that I'm having a issue with Google Hangouts, and it's always a case of it might have been something I said. So what we're gonna do on this channel here, as far as Black Men Being Brutally Honest and the habitual line steppers, is that we're gonna do all of our all of our panel discussions from here until I can get this issue resolved. But this is the backup channel to my main channel. Um, um, I guess that the name habitual line stepper for me fits now that this has happened. And with me today is another one of the habitual line steppers, along with Donnie Casanova, host of the YouTube channel You Ain't Shit for Watching. Here we have Roger Stevens from the Roger Report. Say hello, Roger.
Hello, Roger. Hey, folks out there. How y'all doing? This is Roger Stevens, also a habitual line stepper, and yeah, we seen the step over the line here and there. It seems to be automatic for us. Kev stepped over a big one this time, but we gonna keep pressing forward and pushing on. It's just the reality of life in America.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man. And the and it's funny you should say reality is because facing reality is very difficult. It's very uncomfortable. And here's the thing. In order to face our realities, especially in the black community, we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations. But the problem that we have sometimes is that those conversations, when we try to have them, are met with resistance, and that resistance is from can come from the ones that are closest to us, the ones that we expect the support from. Um, and it's almost certain that that resistance will come from people who we consider to be complete strangers on the internet. What we're kind of here to discuss for a second is why that resistance. Why is it that it is so difficult for us as African Americans, blacks, whatever whatever you consider us to be? Why is it so difficult for our community or large parts of our community to face reality, the realities of our situation? And what we're going to do whenever we do a panel discussion on our habitual line steppers network is that we are going to be facing these realities, and sometimes we're going to have fun with it too. Myself, Roger, and Donnie are more than happy to do this for the world, to get our message out there. Man, through YouTube and just through being us. So let's see where this goes as far as this channel and our other channels. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to go below this screen. Please hit that subscribe button, because there are going to be some very interesting panels and even more interesting topics to cover on those panels, and even more interesting panels, and just it will evolve into something great. Trust me on this, even though there's no reason to trust me at this point. But once you get to know me, I consider say what?
One reason. I think that one reason. They
Okay.
understand being an habitual line stepper. You know what I'm saying? Just in that name, we are a group of people. We're gonna constantly step over the line. So we're gonna push things to a place they need to be. So if you want to be there and be like the as they call it, the day one fan, this is your time to sign up to be those day one fans, because we're all just getting started with our network as a whole, and we gonna push some things here and there around. We're gonna step over some lines. We might get some lines pushed forward in a better situation for us as a whole. Especially for black men in America. We definitely don't mind helping out other groups, but definitely for Black men in America, we definitely could push some lines to a better place than what they are right now. That's for sure. So that's one reason to trust us. We ain't necessarily the establishment in no kind of way.
Yeah, and I think the reason for the mishap in the other on the other channel, which is why I can't do a Hangouts broadcast from there, is the fact that I stepped over the line a little bit with the establishment. That's when they started to get all rattled. Like let us let us discipline this guy, put him in his place for a second, see how he feels. I
Hmm.
mean, and I'm never the guy to submit to anything like that. And I think that's what kind of makes us unique is the fact that we're not gonna bow down just to make people feel good, no matter who the group is. I mean, we know how to do it within the confines of common sense too. Everything doesn't have to be a blatant, disrespectful message, but at the same time, it's like we got to be honest with you. And that's the way we push forward. I'm sorry. Is honesty sometimes it's hurtful. The truth hurts. That's a very true statement. You
Absolutely.
know, so I'm sorry, but well, here's something. Here's something, Roger. Um, have you ever run into that person who they don't mind telling you about yourself? Period. They feel like there's some things that you should know,
You,
but you turn around and you start telling them a couple things about them, then it's the end of the world. It's like the sky is falling.
bro, yeah, I mean, absolutely, and they take it like they've been physically assaulted. You know, they take it like a physical assault. It's ridiculous. You know, and the sad part is, it's from people that say they want to do better. Them the
Mm-hmm.
ones that really trip me out. The people that say they want to do better, and you start saying, well, you know what, you right, because they want to jump on your case, and you say, hey, you know what, you right. We should do better. Let me do this to change myself. You know what? And if both of us do X, Y, and Z, see, once you include them and change them for the better, it gets real painful sometimes. Yeah. As long as you just take what they say and don't say nothing back, they cool. But when you start including them about how we should change, oh, people hate that we thing. I'm telling you, they hate
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that pro black nuance? And that now don't get me wrong. There are true pro blacks. There are true pro blacks. But then there's the people who say they're pro black. They put a checklist in front of you.
it.
and
Yeah,
and what I don't get about some people is they feel like, and the reason why I bring up pro black is they feel like in order to be pro black, you got to get on their page, but they don't necessarily have to get on your page.
yeah. Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
this one thing that I'm leading to is when a black person says something like we shouldn't talk about other black people or other groups, non-blacks talk about us enough. Why are black people talking about black people right now? My feelings on that is black people should be the ones having this conversation. Period. If especially about if it's about black people definitely should be having the conversation. Period. Point blank in the discussion. If we can't
yeah,
have if we can't have the discussion with each other, then who can we have the discussion with?
yeah. If other people are good, I mean, if we're good enough to be discussed by other people, we definitely are good enough to be discussed by ourselves. You know, that make all the sense in the world. Let
And
them be fans of what we say.
and it seems to me like it's like, okay, say for instance a group with non-blacks talk about black people. The reaction from black people is one of sadness and heartbreak. Whereas when black people start talking about black people, it's an act of war. The reaction is anger and retaliation.
Hmm.
Now, Now, not saying that sadness and heartbreak is anything good, but I think those things need to be switched around because it should be disheartening to have our own people think in such a way. And, maybe it opens up a conversation to where we can fix things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the non-black group, not saying anger, people take anger and retaliation different. Oh, you're inciting violence. No, I'm not inciting violence. I'm just saying cuss a motherfucker out. Words never hurt anyone.
It's true. That is true.
So why be mad at me for telling you the truth? Only because I want to help. Why be angry with me? Why want to fight me? I'm not you. You can't give me the benefit if I can't give you the benefit of being on your side automatically because it's there's some things that need fixing and they're not easy to face. That's our reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's like and especially with I don't know, especially with certain aspects of our people, it's like you shouldn't feel attacked if we say something about you. Like unless that something is you a stupid bitch, fuck you, I hate you, I want you to die. Okay, though the saying those words are definite attacks. Yeah. Those are definite attacks, and those are uncalled for. But me saying something like, "Okay, you shouldn't be responsible. You shouldn't be irresponsible with your sex parts. There's things to consider besides pregnancy, like diseases, complicating someone's life, shit like that." Yeah. Then you take it as if I'm telling you that you're some kind of whore, instead of me saying, "Be careful." Because there are things out there that will hurt you and other people because of sex.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shit I'd be talking about, man. You're treated like a hater.
and that can get very ridiculous sometimes. I feel like mature people know when someone's attacking you or when someone's not. It's a difference between being criticized and being attacked. It's a difference between a critical conversation versus a personal attack on you. And I think that it's sad that when people have conversations that are critical amongst ourselves, we're saying, well, we need to improve as a group. And then when you step on someone's particular toes, they take it like somebody attacked them personally. That is just a huge sign of immaturity, if you ask me. And we need to just get past that type of stuff.
Okay.
You can't fix what you can't address.
Okay, let me give you a scenario. Okay, you're on a panel. Okay, let's talk about like this. This is kind of me leading into what I kind of think about Black YouTube, and it doesn't come from a hateful spot. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, you're on a panel. Okay, you feel pretty solid as a Black man, right? You are very proud to be a Black man.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Another Black man is on a panel, a YouTube panel. We've been on YouTube panels before. We've done YouTube panels.
Mm-hmm.
Which means we're going to smash the shit out of some YouTube panels when we get the chance. But for like, okay, you're on a YouTube panel. You're a proud Black man. And you're on a panel with another Black man. All of a sudden he said something like, oh, the white man got his foot on our necks. The white man has defeated us. The white man has been beating our asses for the past 400 years. Oh, whoa. Why are we attacking our women when we're so defeated by the white man? All right. Now, here's my reaction. I feel like that's number one. That's a propaganda piece. That's a propaganda piece to get you to shut up as a Black man. Because, hey, guess what? That Black man hates being next to Black men who actually tell the truth. That makes that Black man look like, I don't know, maybe if he's 5'6" or 5'4", he feels like he's 4'9" or something like that. Or if he's 6'9", he's going to feel like he's 5'2" or something. They're going to feel small. They're going to feel small being next to a Black man that actually tells their asses the fucking truth.
Well, see, my problem with that, and you're probably very correct on what you're saying. My problem with that instantly, if you speak from a defeated position, it's already time for you to shut up. You know what I'm saying? If you even believe that you're defeated, then why are you talking if you're not looking to somehow overcome your situation? But if whatever, because we all got a different perception. If you have a perception in life that we as a people need to improve anything, but you're saying it's another person that won't allow me to do something, and don't get me wrong, I know there's real things out there holding us back, but if your issue is them allowing you versus how to overtake whatever that situation is, you coming from a defeated place already. Now I get that there's certain things you can't do at the moment. You might have to, retreat, recalculate how to get past this one particular obstacle, but you can't talk from a place of defeat. If you talk from a place of defeat, you're exactly where white people need you to be. Just that simple. You know, you can't have a defeated attitude and you're going into a war.
Yeah, and then they'd be the first people, and then they'd be the first people to bring up what white people think. First ones. But they're
Well, I
speaking.
mean, of course they would, because they definitely talking from a defeated attitude. So I
They're
understand that they
talking
would
from.
say
Yeah,
that.
I agree with that. They're talking from a defeated place, and it's like it's like in order to succeed and to move forward, you have to have a forward thinking attitude.
Absolutely. To me, that's a definite marker that that particular person is not a leader. You know what I'm saying? That's what I hear when if a person make that type of statement. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody got a right to their opinion, but that's my indicator of this particular person is definitely not a leader. So you're gonna have to talk to them a certain way because they can't handle anything. They can't handle any information that it'll take a leader to get done. You got to just put them in the back of the pack somewhere. You know, don't give them the importance time. You know, like back in the day, you had men that were fighting the war, and then you had men that were collecting scraps to make bullets or whatever the case was. So yeah, you make that person collect the scraps. Don't send him to the field. He
Yeah,
can't help you out there.
no, not at all, not at all, not at all. And I hate hearing as a black man for those of you who are going to listen to this out here, I don't. That angers me to see a black man referring to himself and other black men because number one, ain't none of us 400 years old. That's for damn sure. Like I don't know. Maybe if I was around in the '60s, I could have helped Martin Luther King out or Malcolm X or whoever, but I wasn't around for that time. I was born in 1976. I was born into the tough on crime era, the upsurge of the feminist movement, the hippie psychedelic drug movement,
Mm.
the cutting the black man out of opportunity movement. Now all those movements existed back then because three I mean three key movements were taken out of the game for real. I mean, one of them never really went away. The Nation of Islam. I mean, there's some aspects of them that believe in black empowerment, but I don't know. I don't know. I just that's another conversation. The Civil Rights Movement, which was halted shortly after King's assassination, and the Black Panther Party,
Yeah.
they were just crushed. So I was born into that era. I
Yeah.
wasn't born into the social justice era, not the era today teaching kids that third place trophies are okay and you got to crumble at every little crack and insult. You know,
Yeah.
we
I mean, that's
go ahead.
just that's just trying to teach kids to be weak, in my opinion. It's simple as that. I mean, I get the third place trophy. I don't get the participation trophies at all. You know, those those are the ones the those are killers to me. You know what I'm saying? I let you have the first, second, and third place. You know what I'm saying? You did something. You definitely pulled yourself away from the pack. But these participation trophies, oh, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even with a third place trophy, you know you ain't first place. You know you ain't second place. So you still have to deal with that reality. Yeah, but these participation trophies and all that type of stuff, and not teaching kids to go for the win. Like what it, my thing is, I don't care what I'm up against. If I'm in it, I'm going for the win regardless. Now, yeah, the odds can be
And that's
uh
and that's the
highly improbable, but I got to go for the win.
Yeah,
You
that's the
know,
mentality we need to teach our kids in our community. I don't care about other communities. They can teach their kids whatever they want as long as they don't harm our community. I mean, it's just that we need to teach our kids to go for the win. And it's like, and as long as like there are adults around here talking about this defeated shit, then what do, especially the boys, what do they got to look up to? Like
I
seriously.
mean, yeah, that my thing is that is not the right attitude to be teaching boys. That to my thing is you got to teach them a certain aspect of you can't win every fight right now. Some things you do have to retreat and recalculate about. But at the end of the day, anything that's worthwhile, you should be going for the win. So you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want our boys going for the win in dumb situations, of course. But if it's worthwhile, yes, you should always be going for the win. You don't have to get every victory at that moment, though. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But you do got to teach them to go for the win. You got to do it when it's best as possible. Like people say all the time, which is actually true. You don't go to war unless you got your money right. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people don't. There's a lot of people who never thought about what that actually means. But that means if you're gonna send the troops out there to war, you got to have money to feed them. You got to be able to supply them weapons and things like that. If your money's not right, you're automatically gonna lose. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it works. So yeah, I'm not into this teaching black people that just be prepared to lose because that's just what it's going to inevitably be no matter what. That's pure stupidity in my opinion. Pure
Oh, okay.
stupidity.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I just came on camera for a second to, confirm my identity for the people out there. To make
Oh,
that,
okay.
yeah, just make sure they know it's me. Because we deal with that on Facebook too.
Yes, we do.
Dummy accounts, people trying to be us, saying crazy stuff, and I mean that, and you would think that people wouldn't waste their time with shit like that. Like it's some serious crap out here going on. There's so many layers to it. Like and it's like when we put ourselves in this position, like say Black Men Being Brutally Honest is based off of a Facebook group named Black Men Being Brutally Honest with Everyone, and like we had to make that group secret because there were people that were gunning for us. Like I gotta tell you, you would think that it's non-blacks mostly doing this stuff, especially whites. Man, dude, we get attacks from black people directly from black people. I mean, and these and the sad part about it is a lot of them don't view them as attacks.
Yeah, yeah.
they,
Now,
they view
unfortunately, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
they view it as submitting to their reality. I don't like the fact that you're telling the truth about something that and let's be true about this statement right here. Hit dogs will holler, and boy, it's like a lot of people hollered in that group. A lot of folks.
Yeah, yeah. That's just the truth. That
Yeah, so
is the
I
truth.
mean, to me, honestly, I think we did something correct. I think we did something right. But let me get back to my point about Black YouTube currently, the current scape of Black YouTube. And I'm going to put it in two words: fuckery sells.
Yeah, yeah. That's a true statement. Real talk. That's
If
a true
people, if,
statement.
if people, especially a black person on YouTube, knows how to use fuckery, they can gravitate so many people toward their cause. I can tell you this: when
Hmm.
I started my main channel, there was a YouTuber that gave me the advice of, um, yeah, maybe you need to go into the black woman hate narrative. And I was puzzled. I was like, I don't know if I can do that because I look at it. Okay, let's give an example. Tommy Sotomayor. I mean, which they can call it black woman hate all he want, but he's very very bluntly honest. I see what he goes through, It's like, and there's people like constantly stalking him, flagging his shit, trying to get his. Like one guy made a video celebrating his channel getting demonetized,
Yeah,
and
that's
had
kind of
people in his
ridiculous.
comment section thinking that black people should be kicked off of YouTube. Period.
That's
And these
also
were black
ridiculous.
people. They might have been. Some of them might have been white trolls. You never know. There's always a white troll.
Mm-hmm.
But like these are like, dude. But if anyone who's ever experienced any Facebook group, any Twitter stream or whatever, like y'all know that we attack each other like just about more than anyone.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. We really shouldn't, you know. And to celebrate the fact that someone's having trouble making money, yeah, it's kind of bad. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen some of Tommy Sotomayor's work. Uh, my issue with Tommy is that, but no, I don't have an issue with Tommy. My thing about people's issue with Tommy. Um, I personally have not seen Tommy present anything that wasn't the truth. So my thing is, as long as he's saying stuff and it's true, ain't really much I can say about him. Um, because of how he personally feels, yeah, he does go a little overboard sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because he feels so much passion about the particular subject matter he's dealing with. But he is talking about a sect of black women that has to be addressed at the end of the day. You can't build your community up and make it a better community while ignoring a section of people that are doing a bunch of negative things, because that's counterproductive to the outcome that you're trying to get as a community. So yeah, as much as it may hurt, you still got to deal with the women he brings up. You know, they are part of the black community, so we got to deal with it. We got to address it at some point. And are we going to be accepting of it, or are we not going to be accepting of it? Because some of that behavior that he shows is absolutely ridiculous. And it's I do know people attack him for talking about the behavior, but my attitude is, why are we talking to him about discussing the behavior, but not talking about the people that actually performing the behavior? That would make more sense to me.
I say that
You
shit
know,
all the time. Why are people so mad at people who talk about the behavior instead of getting mad at the behavior itself and doing what you can to prevent the behavior?
yeah,
And
yeah,
talking about it makes people consciously aware of it, whether it's uncomfortable or not, so they won't go into that behavior.
absolutely, absolutely. And for a person to attack the person that's reporting about the behavior, and my reality is you're trying to that's just a basic slick way of you trying to agree with the behavior. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna attack the person that's attacking the behavior because I honestly agree with that behavior. Why would you attack the man for talking about a behavior that from all indications I can figure is very negative behavior, but you're gonna attack him? Well, you must agree with that negative behavior. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. I mean, I think we agree with everything to a fuckery standpoint. That's why these reality shows do so well, and they have multiple seasons because of fuckery. It's just this. If you're on the end of one of those conversations and you find yourself calling that other person names, you lost. You lost. I mean, unless there is some disrespect coming from that other person. If that person
Mm-hmm.
is stating facts, if they're stating facts, and you find yourself not being able to respond or debunk those facts, because I mean that's an oxymoron anyway, debunking a fact. Or let me put
Right.
it like this: debunking what he's saying or she is saying. And instead of trying to debunk, you start calling names, you start insulting the person's family, you lost. Period. You need to shut the fuck up. You are out of the game. You are ejected.
Well, you know what? That's a mark of a person that's unwilling to learn. That's all I see when that type of stuff comes up. Once a person starts hitting you with some reality and you have no answer for those realities, the fact that you will not pull back means you are refusing to learn, and that's why people have such such issues because they limit their own growth. You know, because that's what I call that. That's limiting your own growth. You could be better off as a person. You know, I mean, there's a lot of positions I had as a child that I do not now agree with because I'm an adult. Because I'm willing to change. If you can present me better information, I can go with what I'm presented because it's better. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I won't ever change it again. It's just about when a person can present me better information. And I don't think people should be easily moved on anything. But if a person presents you better information, why would you stick with something that you clearly been made to understand doesn't make sense? You know, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
So,
the way, by the way, good show thus far, Roger.
oh well, thank you, sir. Thank you. I have to agree with you.
Yeah,
I think it's a good show too. Yeah.
yeah. But the next thing I was going to talk about was, and this is always some sort of an elephant in the room, but it's like people saying stuff like, "Yeah, y'all talk about black people. Why can't y'all face white supremacy like that?" And my answer to that always is, we always face white supremacy. Everywhere we go, we face white supremacy. We can't avoid white supremacy. I mean, honestly, we can. The only thing we can do is carry on our lives and not try to infringe on anyone else's personal lives. That's it. But it's like, when you say something, when you're trying to have a conversation with someone, you're gonna run into this pushback of, well, why y'all can't face white supremacy? White men, like I was saying earlier about the guy who was, talking about some the white man been whooping our ass for 400 years. I mean, it's like, I'm not scared to face white supremacy. That's not the way I'm built. White supremacy is very powerful in this country.
That it is.
Yes, and I mean, it's so powerful to the point where, it's like the devil is trying to convince you it doesn't exist. As far as our proactivity as a people, I don't think white supremacy impacts that. I think white supremacy has indoctrinated through the media, indoctrinated our people to make it believe that it doesn't exist, or, you know. But my point to even bringing this up or saying this is like I said earlier, we black people need to be having this conversation.
Yeah, we do. Because
We
honestly, anyone that says what you're saying, oh, why are y'all talking about us and y'all need to face white supremacy? More than likely, they are white supremacists. That's a person who's accepted white supremacy, and they really don't want to deal with white supremacy. And unfortunately, everyone, you know what I'm saying? Well, not everyone, but a large percentage of people, especially black people who have grown. Well, no, matter of fact, the black people who have went through public education have been getting taught white supremacy ever since they've been in school, at least. And black people that have watched television, anything that's major media, they've been trained to be a white supremacist themselves. So at some point in time, you as a person have to wake up and stop buying into that white supremacy training that you've been getting your whole life. You know what I'm saying? At whatever age that happens to be. So a person who would make a comment to you about, why are you saying something to black people? You should be facing white. They're probably one of the white supremacists, because it's not like you can't be black and still be a white supremacist, because the white supremacy is about what you believe and what you stand for. And if you stand for black people being defeated and white people getting ahead, you're a white supremacist,
yeah.
regardless of your color.
All right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Let me give you an example of white supremacists in the black community. Feminist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
Feminist.
any black feminist is, yeah, that's definitely white supremacy.
I mean, they work against the interests of black men in general. They'll pick like one black male figure to use it as an example of black men to trash. I would say how they went in on Bill Cosby, or it is the whole R. Kelly situation. Even though R. Kelly, we've all admitted that R. Kelly does have a problem.
Well, I haven't really when it comes down to it, black feminists don't really fight anybody that's oppressing someone else. Now, R. Kelly is a unique situation because if he's doing stuff to children, yes, you can put that under a form of oppression, but that's not any major oppression because he's only dealing with children he's actually personally coming into contact with. So you're talking about a very small percentage of children. You're not talking about 1%. You're not even in 1% of 1% of black children. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, R. Kelly is not an oppressive force. He's just one person.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when you talk about a Bill Cosby didn't oppress anyone. You know what I'm saying? Bill Cosby never had that problem. Feminists supposed to be fighting stuff that's oppressive to women. But black feminists, I've never heard of a black feminist fight anything that's oppressive to women. I ain't never heard them fight one thing that's oppressive to black women.
Uh,
And when you,
except for black
what's
men,
that?
except for black men who make more money. And I'll get to that in just a second.
I'm gonna say, even in that scenario, I still have never seen them fight any black man that was oppressing women. I just don't know of that ever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I understand
It's
they
used as
fight
a
against black
narrative.
men that they don't like.
It's used as a narrative. They like to call this narrative the "I'm never satisfied" narrative. They'll
I mean,
call. They'll
I get
call.
it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say I get it. I understand what they're doing, but my thing is I'm gonna put the reality out there that they don't fight against any oppression when it comes to a black man oppressing black women. They just don't because it don't exist like that. You know what I'm saying? Black men ain't controlling stuff in this country where there's anything to fight. So a black feminist, unless you're fighting against white men that control stuff, you know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Like, what's the point of your existence? Because you're supposed to be fighting oppression, but you're not fighting of oppression. You know what I'm saying? You can't oppress anybody in this country on voluntary inside the home stuff. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're gonna physically strap somebody to a chair, how you fighting? So you can't fight oppression in a relationship. A relationship is a voluntary thing. If a woman chooses to be with an abuser, that's her choice. She can always leave
And
the
not only
abuser.
that, but not only that though. This is what I'm talking about with the never satisfied argument. They talk
Mm-hmm.
about these guys. They talk about these guys like, okay, if you 50-50, basically that the woman is paying all and the guy ain't doing shit. That's what they say. But they also say, as far as the oppression, they say the oppression comes from relationships, like you were saying. Like if a woman is staying under a guy that is paying everything, that
Well, I mean, that's. Oh,
and
go
then,
ahead. Go ahead.
but that argument, but that argument is used to say that, hey, black men can oppress us this way. They're never satisfied. They want men to pay 100% of everything, but then they start talking about oppression when that thing actually happens. So I don't get the contradictive arguments.
Well, I mean, honestly, that sounds like what I've heard a gentleman call an ugly girl argument. That's what that sounds like to me. An ugly girl is saying that you're oppressed because you have a man that likes you enough or loves you enough to put you somewhere and pay all the bills. Yeah, that's not oppression. That's called being taken care of. That happened to me when I was a child. When I was a child, I had a mom and dad who paid everything for me. That was called being taken care of. That had no there was no oppression involved. So anyone who says someone who would take care of you is oppressing you, that's got to be somebody ugly who, for whatever reason, can't get somebody to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like when you see your average like loud ass feminist. Yeah, she usually is not that attractive. Like I gotta tell you that. I mean, some are, but like the really bitter ones. Like I give you an example when I forgot the girl's name who was in that movie Birth of a Nation. She was on the panel with a feminist, like overweight, heavyset girl, and
Mm-hmm.
the heavyset girl was just trying to out scream her. No, you don't speak for black people on this one. Like it was like she was loud and obnoxious, and unattractive.
I can understand that because when you're loud, obnoxious, and unattractive, You know what I'm saying? Being obnoxious is gonna add to how unattractive you are physically. You know, yeah, you probably can't get people to do things. You probably can't get masculine benefits from men. You know, at least on a regular basis. So, like, you know, the protection people say they want, yeah, you probably can't get a man to protect you because they don't value you enough to protect you. You know what I'm saying?
And let's say, and let's just go ahead and throw this disclaimer out there: beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What I may find unattractive, another man may find is like a dime piece attractive. So, you know,
well, yeah, that's true. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but a lot of us agree to what beauty is. I will say that too.
yeah, like there's some supermodel looking chicks that's ugly as fuck out here because of their attitudes.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, if you're not a supermodel chick, you why are you even taking a risk of having a bad attitude? You know what I'm saying? If you already don't look the part, why would you mess it up by your personality? Like, why would you bring yourself even lower on the totem pole with having a bad personality? That's just kind of stupid, you know. So it's like, and I will say this: uh, the few women I know that are like super feminine, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying super because compared to other black women, just regular femininity, sometimes it's looked at it's like a whole other level, you know. And I just said, wait, do you feel black men do X, Y, and Z for you? And they always say, yeah. So it seems like if you're a feminine woman, if you're a feminine woman, you don't have the issues of these feminists, the stuff the feminists talk about. You don't seem to have those issues.
Yeah, let me read a feminist statement real quick, and you know this is out of the group, and this is like I'm not gonna say this person's name. I'm not gonna read this whole convoluted ass paragraph, but when you say stuff like just because the black men are in the homes doesn't mean they are being actively involved. When you say shit like that, it's just to me, it's just you're trying to find a way to just to hate the men. It has no reason. You complain about them not being in the homes, and then when they're in the homes, you're gonna say some dumb shit like they're not actively involved just because they're in the homes. Are you in everyone's home?
Well, you know what? See, my thing is, there's a lot of people who speak from a personal perspective, and when you say something like that, that means more than likely you're the type of woman to take care of a bum, and you're upset that that bum you take care of doesn't get out and go to work and do things you feel other men should. You see what I'm saying? So it's really coming from a lose. That's another defeated attitude. You know what I'm saying? That's just you. Yeah, yeah. I know y'all be in the home, but y'all ain't doing nothing in the home. Well, what kind of woman lets a man live off of her? You know what I'm saying? Like you're defeated. So yeah, that's probably her personal situation that she's trying to put on everybody else. That's the only way that you can really take something like that.
Projection. That's another way of not dealing with reality. Projecting.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are actually going through that shit. And then they want to sit up there and complain on Facebook, complain on Twitter. I don't know if people use Instagram for complaining. I think Instagram is a picture website or picture social media, but whatever.
I'm pretty sure they found a way to complain about it. No matter what message you give them, they'll find a way to complain.
Oh yeah,
that's just what complainers do.
They'll post some picture quotes. You know, like they'll go to somebody like Kevin Gates, and then post one of his quotes. Just because they your friend doesn't mean they're gonna be there for you forever. You know, and they have a picture of him looking like sad or something, or a straight face. Like they do that shit.
You know what that statement you just said? That tells me a person don't know what a friend is.
Maybe that tells you that these people don't know what the fuck they talking about for real. Like, Jesus.
What kind of friends do you make? Guess anybody qualifies to be your friend. You have no sense.
No, not at all. I think you should take yourself out of the realm of advising people. Period.
Yeah, on the real. Yeah, people say a lot of stupid stuff out here. I see a lot of stupid stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to end it here. Roger, do you have any final statement for this discussion about reality and how it impacts our community and how we should deal with it.
Well, I'm gonna say this: a defeated person accepts reality. If you're a winner, you push reality toward the direction you want it to go. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I will say this: if you don't accept the reality, be the reality. Make things better. Be proactive. Don't lay on your ass and then complain about someone who's not accepting the reality that you have accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and especially if they speak out about our realities, you should never, ever, ever sit there and try to, fight that person or try to silence that person. Because in turn, in that, you're doing exactly what, and I do quote fingers here, the enemy wants you to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so I'll just leave it at that. Reality. Yeah, just get a slice of it sometimes. Um, all right. I'd like to thank the Roger Report for being here, and please join him tonight on his YouTube show where he will be doing a panel discussing this topic. When should black people call the police, if ever? That
Yeah.
should be a very interesting discussion. Hopefully, I can be there for that one, Mr. Stevens.
Well, you're welcome, and I hope you're there too.
All right, all right. On behalf of the Roger Report, you ain't shit for watching, and Black being brutally honest. This is Kev here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and be tuning in the future. We're gonna have some very interesting things going on this channel here. This is the backup channel to Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Thank you.
And real quick. Yeah, for those who are intending to come to the Roger Report to watch that very exciting program that we're going to have tonight, like and subscribe and all that. But we should be airing about 10:30 tonight, Central Time. 10:30 Central Time.
Yeah, okay. 10:30 Central Time. Be looking for it. Be looking for it. Very, very, very good information. Very good discussions. Very interesting. All of us are. You know why? Because we're the habitual line steppers.
Exactly.
All right.
That's what we're about.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
All right.